for reference later.
We basically have rubber cords, resistance cords that will really increase the snap of, because it's downward, right? In sprinting, right?
Yeah.
Okay? What we used to know before is just upward, but anyways. So this allows you for maximum utilization of the arms that will allow you to stay upright and be able to lengthen your stride. There's an early foot strike, which only says that it will be easy on the knees. Okay? So it's not true that plyometrics, well, can have a very negative impact on injury, on young kids, but this one is very core in its approach. Now, as I bring this to elevation, to 0, flat, this is when now we put in the stride frequency. Okay, the turnover, as they say. Now, I want to show you what a standard that we can put for, let's say, high school sprinters.
Yeah, because a standard treadmill in the gym, like in Australia, only goes up to about, I think it's 16 kilometers an hour.
Exactly. This is 32 kilometers per hour.
Is that miles or?
Yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this. Now, Sid is the fastest here at this speed, 24. That's
how long can you sustain that for?
6 seconds.
6 seconds.
Now, but you get on it at that speed.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the acceleration that you're gonna, and I think that's the next important thing, is to actually achieve acceleration, because in everything you do, be it the throws, the sprints, the jump, or whatnot, even sports, even basketball and volleyball, it has to be done, the action is in an accelerating manner. And this teaches you that. Of course, there are many other things, but you know, this, and I'm glad you came here, Perry, because this is naturally designed for our athletes, track and field athletes. Running, how bad could it get? Okay? Now, has anybody fallen at 24 miles per hour? Yes. Especially to those who don't listen. Okay?
Yeah.
But really, nobody falls here. None yet. One occasionally.
Yeah.
And that's basically because we're right here providing the spot, and then there's somebody here hitting that stop button, and it will stop in less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So not even enough for you to fall. You stumble, but by that time you would have held this.
Yeah, that's why that thing there is to grab onto if you can't cope with the speed.
So this is the most special thing. I mean, a 30 mile per hour treadmill, fastest treadmill in the world, okay? It's the highest elevation. So this is almost like similar to, patterned after how horse racing, okay? The horses are put in a high-speed treadmill. But the difference is that the horses are taken to the high speed from a low speed. Gradually they increase it. Now, it doesn't really talk about, because the horses cannot really hold on to anything. Okay? They have to get into that rhythm right away. Whereas guys, speed, we actually hold it, feel the speed, and then run, and let go. Okay? Now, Perry, I don't know if you'll agree with me, but you're a sprinter.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with me that at a certain velocity, whether your velocity or mine, you start losing balance?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where the arms start coming into play. Meaning to say,
yes, the arm strength plays an important role, because you can only get to a certain speed frequency if your arms depending on the strength and flexibility of your arms.
And depending on how fast your arms are swinging and how powerful. So what I'm saying here, Perry, is that you have not seen anything yet among our sprinters.
When I was a young athlete, I mean, one of my competitors, he told me, when I was beginning off in athletics, one of my competitors told me the simple principle: the faster you can swing your arms, the faster your legs are going to move.
Yes.
That's what I was told when I was beginning off. And a guy, he was like, you know, my age, he's running 454 as a 13, 14-year-old. He told me that was like, the faster you swing your arms, the faster your legs were going to move.
Yeah. Well, I had the rare privilege of seeing Coach Tom Tellis of Carl Lewis teach him right there, and his point was basically, you you cannot possibly go any faster with your leg turnover
Yeah.
if the balance of the upper body is not achieved.
It's not in sync.
Right. And just like, if I may, just talk about something more relevant. The last race between Usain Bolt and what's his name of this American?
Tyson Gay or Justin Gatlin.
Justin Gatlin. The problem of Justin towards the last, the 80th, was he actually lost.
You mean the last
balance.
20 meters? Yeah.
He lost balance, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, well, whether that was because he saw Usain Bolt accelerating,
Lost focus.
right? And he lost his focus. He didn't run his race. He actually got affected. And you know that. That's the number one.
Yeah.
You don't run your race, you're finished. And
He got too tense in the last. He didn't relax. If he relaxed, he would have floated through.
Yeah.
He didn't lose by much.
He actually
Yeah.
cut his stride length.
Yeah.
And that was it, split second.
Yeah.
Okay? Whereas you look at Usain Bolt, and this is difficult for somebody as tall as him, almost 6'6", 6'5", 6'5 and a half.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to train a 6'5".
Yeah.
Because his center of gravity is higher, and he's got longer limbs.
It's harder to get out of the blocks.
Get them to get strong. But yes, he's not the best starter. But whoa, look at his stride length. That's how he beats those guys.
It's the top end speed.
Yeah, well, stride length at a certain, I don't think he's as fast as Justin Gatlin, if you ask me. In
Yeah.
terms of speed, of
Yeah.
turnover.
He just has a longer stride
just,
length.
yes. But that's the whole point. When you see
Yeah.
Usain Bolt run, he makes it look so easy,
Yeah.
right? But that's based on numerous and rigid training, repetitive, really making sure that we develop, the coach has to develop a biomechanical eye. Would you agree with it?
Yeah.
It is only the coach who can tell whether the stride length is achieved or it's still under. It needs work. In which case, in most cases, this is what I think we could use. I'm not saying we need the coaches, but maybe if they learn how to coach their own using this machine, okay, then I wouldn't really mind so much that they use it, but they need to learn
Yeah.
the principles. But you see, and I think Peary, and this is where the new coach, if he is to succeed, really has to back off with all the rackets, the left and right jobs that they take from schools. I understand that there's a need for good coaches, and these are the only guys who can do it, but how can you actually handle several things at a time?
Yeah.
And this one is for 1 hour totally supervised. And then you have what? You can handle about maximum of about 7 athletes per hour. And that's fast, okay? But again, what I'm just saying, this is, I think, a good way of actually checking the mechanics, making sure that the right running, sprinting mechanics are done correctly. Of course, I have to say that running on a machine, a treadmill, is still way different from running on a track.
Of course.
Because the pawing action, the amount of pawing that you need to put on the track is greater. But if your hip flexors, hip extensors, your hamstring are strong enough, okay, and you have the ability to make it turn over fast, okay, that's the next thing that can be done easier, okay? But this is the reason why I told you, Peary, if you're willing to work with me, I believe that we will help produce our first sub 10. Okay? I mean, don't hold me into that.
Yeah.
I'm not giving any guarantees.
Are you willing to work towards other goals besides sub 10, like along the way? Like, say, for example,
Christopher Woodblock.
Yeah.
I handled him.
Yeah.
He is a steeplechaser.
Yeah.
Okay? And the beauty about Christopher Woodblock was that he accepted my formula. I told him, if I lengthen your stride, you're going to go faster even without any
Yeah.
3K.
And since then, he's won 2 successful SEA games,
Right.
and his time keeps coming down.
But I keep telling him, you have not beaten Hector Begueas.
No.
Okay?
Even the junior record of he hasn't even beaten Hector Begueas' junior record yet. It's
Exactly.
8:52.
Now,
Yeah.
and I think much praise and has to be given to Hector because he is quite an athlete. But this is what I'm saying. Fury.
Small guy.
We also told Christopher Ulbach that I'm going to give you the finishing kick of a sprinter.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been doing.
He's got it.
Yeah. Now, okay, unfortunately, I know track and field is an individual sport, so can't expect Christopher to actually tell his fellow steeplechasers to come here and train because...
Has he been coming here? No, he stopped coming here.
It was a one-off just deal, okay?
Yeah.
Well, again, as you said, our athletes are easily satisfied with their most current feat. Their dreams are not big enough. Okay?
Correct.
And we need to help them. I mean, I know that somewhere out there in the 13, 14 regions here in the Philippines, there's one guy who probably wants to do that. And let's find it.
Yeah.
Okay? And show them that with technology and with, I think this is the hardest.
What I would like to do is, I mean, this is a good long-term goal, but what I would like to do is raise the level of sprinting in the country first. Absolutely. Before you can get to, before you can get to the...
We can call it the Piri Enzo Running Sprinters Club. Okay? And man, you're producing talent that's just very hard. And hey, maybe a good way of when we start managing these athletes, because you will, after all, become not just a coach, but also an agent of these guys. When they get to big schools, maybe we could ask them schools for a donation to keep our costs, okay? Because again, I'm not rich enough to be able to do such a humanitarian or
exactly, because like I mean, you need to compensate your costs.
However, what I can do for you, Piri, is that I have a lot of friends who have extra money, and who will gladly support as long as we assure them that the money given does not get diverted.
Correct. I understand that there's a... I'll turn this off now because I don't want some of this...
What you'd see in a slimmer stuff, okay?
Yeah.
But it goes 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So, partner, we're going to hit... just do a warm-up. And then, come on, you can do better than that. Come on. Faster and hard. Come on. That's it. Come on. What are you doing, partner? What are you doing? Come on. That's it. 4. Last one. Hold. That's it. Yes. Okay. A lot of people. Okay. Rest time. Down. Down. Piri. Push. That's it. Jump. Good. Jump. That's it. Come on. Jump. Good. Hold. Now. Okay. Take note. It's always like that. Your left is ahead of the right. Okay. So it's just not, I mean, something that I'm not going to worry about it, but not lose sleep about it. Okay. That in order to have speed, just 2 components, stride length and stride frequency combined. And when you have that, you will go faster. Now, this is basically what is very special about this treadmill is that we provide natural resistance, so it's your body weight, depending on the elevation, will determine the amount of resistance. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you how our guys get into it, but not so fast. First, it's 10 degrees. Just we can run now. So this is 6 miles, which is about 9 kilometers. Okay. So we're going to do our high knees and the high knee butt kick. Okay. Yeah. Run it out. I do what I mean. You need to go. Come on, high knees first. But then, come on, lean back, and then arms free. Come on, lean back some more. Come on. Grab that knee up. Okay. Breathing, now. Out. Now, we do based on the protocol. Okay. So this determines, the number. You may wanna the number of sets, speed, elevation, and then the running form. Okay. Now. We have to run like a sprinter because that's the only way you can actually keep up with running an incline.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that in Baguio, in our national training center there, I don't know if they do hills, okay? Hill works. I think they do. Yeah. The question is, okay, can you really train and watch their form when they're actually doing their hill. Because at a certain elevation, you tend to lean forward. And when you lean forward, your knee, your stride length gets affected.
Yep.
Right? So that's one of the things I learned upon when I learned this. I said I was doing it all wrong. All my hill runs wrong. Because coaches, it would be very difficult to be coaching you at every stride for, let's say, 20, 30 meters. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's it. Okay? So we're going to go a little higher. Sorry about that.
No problem.
A little faster now. Okay? We need to make that lighter. Okay? And more in sync. The downswing of the arms causes you to lift that knee up. And then let's do that tiny butt kick. Okay? Lean back. Okay? I'm going to spot you. Now, lean back. Knee up. Alright. Arms. Come on. Strong arms. Come on. Then you reach it back. Some more. Some more. That's it. Good. Lean back. Up. Now, with that form, there's tremendous development happening in the hip flexors, in the hip extensors, okay? Okay? In the calf muscles, okay? Upon foot strike, I will activate the hamstring, okay? Hamstring muscles, and then when we bring it up, quad. So it's a series of turning off of the contralateral or the contradictory muscles, okay? And the nice thing here, if I were a traditional track coach, I'll be screaming like crazy.
Yes.
You know, you're on the oval. Here, he's not moving.
Yeah.
And since we cannot see the way we move, or our kinesthetic movement, this is the reason why there's a mirror. Okay? So that when we say that you've done the right form, okay, there is actually instant feedback. And straight to the brain, hopefully. Okay? Just a little speed run. Okay? So it goes higher, like I said. You may want to take this. Okay? Now, when my biggest challenge with Run for Change is that they would train here. When they get back, none of the coaches even came just to see what's happening, except John.
Yeah.
Okay? And when I told John, he perfectly understood what the whole point is here. Okay? Holding lang tayo pare, holding, ha? This is 30 degrees, okay?
Yep.
Baga lang tayo, okay? Now let's be upright, huh? Butt in, lean back, don't grasp the handlebar so hard, and drive that knee up. This is to increase stride length. Ready? Hold it, come on, knee up. Come on, drive it up. That's it. Nice. Lighten the foot strike. Good. Out. Now. Okay?